Atlanta, the Big Body Benz. Georgia will be taking on Alabama. This is the 5th time that Georgia and Alabama have played for the SEC championship in Atlanta since the game was founded in 1992. Does anybody know what the scoreboard reads in those matchups?
In Atlanta?
The SEC championship.
Yeah, so in Atlanta.
I would assume so.
Yeah, I think it was always in Atlanta.
I mean, Alabama's won them all, right?
It's 4 for Alabama, 0 for Georgia. The Bulldogs are 2.5-point underdogs and have never beaten Alabama in the SEC championship game. That would be the 2012 SEC championship game. That would be the 2018 SEC championship game, 2021 SEC championship game, and 2023 SEC championship game. And yeah, if you want to tack on the Tua to Devonta Smith as just a little bit more of nightmare fuel for Georgia fans after the Bulldogs blew a 13-0 lead in that national championship game in this very same building. Yeah, there's a lot of vibe stuff going on here for the Dogs.
So are you saying Georgia would rather play this game in Indianapolis? Because that's the last time they beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Hey,
there
you go. That could be a great call here. So what are you concerned from the Alabama side? I just sort of gave you the fan, sort of the way that fans are feeling about this. Are you concerned from what we've seen from Alabama in the last couple of weeks?
Yes.
Okay. That's real concern. That like this ain't a switch that can be flipped where all of a sudden they're going to get back to the very best versions of themselves, because they have not shown the best versions of themselves in the last couple weeks.
I mean, it's very possible they could. They're a very talented team. You could see them get their act together, but just, I mean, I talked about it on Saturday night. Like the last month, Ty Simpson and that offense have been not at where they had been. I mean, and again, this was an offense that all year has been playing one-handed because they haven't really been able to run the ball. And we saw them run the ball a little bit against Auburn. It's just, and it was encouraging, but Jam Miller's banged up. We don't know how healthy he is. They lost Cuevas. He's probably going to be missing this game. And I think these are big deals for them on offense, but just overall, like Ty Simpson has looked more rattled in the pocket. And I think part of that has been the protection and the pass rushes he's been facing. But I worry that when you ask a quarterback to pretty much be your offense for an entire season and to carry you, that as it goes on and that weight just kind of starts to get heavy and you start feeling like you have to do everything, you start pressing and you start maybe trying to do too much. I kind of feel like Ty Simpson, when I watch him play, is trying to do a little too much right now. And I think that is a concern. But the good news is he's going up against one of the worst pass rushes in the country statistically. So maybe he's going to have all day in the pocket to pick them apart.
That was the one thing that I remember watching distinctly in the game in Athens was Ty Simpson just patting the ball a couple times. And then it was like, ooh, there's a guy, and just ripping it. I mean, he had all day to throw, but I almost do feel like specifically with this matchup, with Georgia's inability to rush the pass for most of the year, all of a sudden they're starting to get home a little bit more. They've been a little bit more successful, and Alabama's pass protection has broken down some, as teams have been like, oh, they really can't run the football. Like they haven't been worried about that. Like, so I feel like these two, Alabama's offense is headed the wrong direction. Georgia's defense is headed in the right direction. Feels like it should be Georgia's time for the taking.
Hey, Kirby's only 1-7 against Alabama. What could go wrong, right?
Nothing.
Jeez. What about the Gunnar Stockton of it all? How Georgia's offense?
I was surprised. Do you think the Georgia Tech game was more like, we're in control of the game, let's not screw this up, let's just win? Because they were a little bit more conservative on offense than they have been, at other times this season. I thought Gunnar Stockton was going to put up big numbers. He did not.
Yeah, I thought it was sneaky. I thought it was sneaky disrespectful. They treated Georgia Tech like Charlotte and Marshall and all these. No, we've done enough to win the game. Let's pack it up now.
Right, but early.
But early, yeah.
And without much of a lead.
No,
they didn't have to.
7-point game.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of the Georgia Tech game, which, by the way, was also in this very same building. About 8 days from when kickoff is going to be. Does Georgia feel like the third best team in the country to you?
I think there's a lot of margins are that different. I think they're in a whole slew of teams that are kind of
tied for 5th. That's what I kept saying. Is like we got a 1 and a 2, and we got like 4 teams tied for 5th.
Yeah.
You can tell me Oregon's the 5th best team in the country, Georgia's 5th best team in the country, but it's a spot where for the Dogs you have to make sure that all of this defensive progress that's been made, it has to show up, because Kalen DeBoer had Georgia's number in the first half of that game earlier this season. Now, credit to the Bulldogs, went into halftime, made the adjustments, clawed back into that game. If Cash Jones shakes off that tackler, they convert the 4th down. Who knows? Maybe Georgia wins that game, which would be absolutely massive. But I still, and even going back to last week in the Iron Bowl, 17-point lead that Alabama blew. They got that 17-point lead by a fast start. Do you expect another fast start for the Tide?
See, that's an interesting thing to consider, though, because that's the one thing about these rematches where when you've seen what the other team has done and you figured things out, because as you mentioned, like every point Alabama scored in that game came in the first half.
Every one of them. It was all they needed.
They did not score in the second half. And you can look at it, and on the flip side, the one thing Georgia did do well in the game, I mean, they ran the ball very, very well. Chauncey Bowens averaged nearly 10 yards per carry. As a team, they averaged about 7 yards per carry. So does Alabama come into this one? Like, Alabama's run defense is not elite, but it's good. Do they come into this game having made adjustments to take that away, to kind of force Gunner to do it more kind of like Ty Simpson style, put it all on your back? And is that a very good thing for Georgia? I think it could be, but I don't know. Like I do, if I'm Alabama, I am certainly probably prepping something different than what I showed in that game, because it was clear Georgia figured out how to take it away. And I don't think that's an impossible thing for Alabama to do. They've got Kalen DeBoer, they've got Ryan Grubb. Those two guys have been doing it for a very long time. I think they can figure some stuff out that they think will work against Georgia and bring it out. But I don't know. That's the thing about these rematches, because the teams kind of have a better idea of what works and what doesn't, and you don't know who's going to adjust better than the other. But I will say, based on what we have seen in the second half of games all year, I do kind of give Georgia an adjustment edge.
Yeah. And even in that game, in the first time, Alabama had 2 14-play drives in the first half of the game against Georgia. That was wild to see in Athens, a team like methodically marching the ball down the field against a Georgia defense. I don't think that happens again. I think you could see a big play potentially. That's where I think Kirby will make the adjustment. And I think Alabama will struggle more offensively. I think their offense will come more from big plays.
In last year, Kalen DeBoer's first matchup with the Bulldogs last season, 30 points in the first half, 11 in the second half. In this game, in the game earlier this season, 24 in the first half, 0 in the second half. So averaging 27 first half points per game in 2 games against Georgia, averaging a little under a touchdown in second halves against Georgia. Fast start for the Tide. Not unfortunately, but to me, certainly feels crucial to give yourself the best chance to be able to win.
Fun little fact here.
Yep.
We've talked about Alabama's rushing offense not being good all season. There's only one game all year in which they have not managed one explosive run. Do you want to guess which one it was?
Was it Georgia?
Yeah.
Because Georgia's run defense has mostly been there throughout the whole year. We have decried, or we have wanted for a little bit more in terms of that classic Michael Williams coming through with the strip sack, take it back even further to the title teams. We don't have that, but they have been rock solid. They have been rock solid all throughout.
Let's say Georgia's up by 2 touchdowns. Let's say 10 points, 11 points. And they have the ball. And let's at the Georgia-Florida game. And they could score another touchdown. Do they do the SEC a solid and take a knee?
No.
Or do they go for the jugular and try to kick Alabama out?
I think they just try to win the football game.
Yeah. You can get injured in practice on a Tuesday.
I love that.
Yeah.
Such a good line.
So good. Yeah, fun game. I mean, just I'll be live blogging this one for CBSSports.com. We haven't been doing as many live blogs this season, but when you get when that request comes in, especially for a game like this, more than happy to step up and do that. So check it out, CBSSports.com, and of course the game 4 p.m. kickoff from Atlanta.